Karabo, can you see my screen yet?
Now I can.
Okay. All right, guys, welcome to lesson 54 of Digital Marketing 3, where we are going to be doing case study analysis by looking at the target marketing strategy. So just a recap, we have looked at decision 3. We have already done decision 1 and 2 in previous lessons. Now we are going to look at the case study application of strategic market segmentation, positioning or differentiation strategy, stages in target market strategy, and examples of segments that are available on page 168 to 69. Guys, this lesson is very, very crucial because it answers the last part of your F2. I don't know that if you have already captured that. There is question 4, if I remember very well, and all its parts. It talks about targeting marketing strategy, where it asks you to come up with 3 segmentation for Yappy Chef. And from that 3 segmentations, it asks you to identify one segment, to choose one segment out of all those segmentations and provide reason why you chose them. Do you remember that, guys? Because I don't want you to get confused when you're doing your F2. So now we are going to discuss how all these concepts, all these theories that we've discussed in lesson 53 are going to fit in reality. So we continue with the same key terms for decision 3, which is target marketing strategy, strategic market segmentation, customer lifecycle, and target market. So we continue to look at ShopRite online shopping and deliveries as a case study because ShopRite hasn't done that yet. And this exercise will also help us to understand why ShopRite is not online, why ShopRite is not having 60/60 like Checkers, why ShopRite is not having ASAP like Pick and Pay, why ShopRite is not having Spar to You like Spar, why ShopRite is not having Dash like Woolies. So as part of ShopRite deciding to offer online shopping and deliveries for its digital customers, identify and explain the 4 stages of target marketing strategy that could be considered as part of strategy formulation, and use these slides as a guideline. So here are the stages. We've got segmentation as the first stage. We've got target marketing as the second stage. We've got positioning, then we've got planning. So can we discuss these stages by looking at ShopRite? Let's come up with 3 segments for ShopRite. This, remember guys, this discussion is going to help you with your F2. So what are the segments that you would consider for ShopRite here? Do we have to look at generations or we look at age? Who buys at ShopRite? Let's group them into segments, guys. Who buys at ShopRite?
I would say generations.
Okay, generations. All right. So we look at what? Millennials.
I would say so.
Okay, millennials. Then can we also consider baby boomers?
For online?
Yes. No, those who buy at ShopRite in general, not for online.
Yes, for sure, that one, yes.
So baby boomers. Can we consider senior citizens, pensioners?
Yes.
All right. So we have got three here. We have got millennials, we have got baby boomers, we have got senior pensioners, senior citizens. So these are the three segments that we have identified for ShopRite. Now we need to get facts about these segments. So we need to know what is it that the millennials do or like, where they hang out, and how they make their income. Once we've discussed that about the millennials, we also go to the baby boomers. Who are they? Where do they hang out? What responsibilities do they have? How do they generate income? What is it that they consume? We then move on to the pensioners. What is it that they like? What are their responsibilities? What do they do during their spare times? And how do they make money? Once we have identified the research about those millennials, okay, let's speculate here because we're not doing the actual research. What is it that you think millennials like, guys?
Their phones.
Their phones. Okay. So they're always glued to their phones, correct? Let's have at least three facts. So we've got one, they like their phones. What is the second characteristics about millennials? Do they have children? Do they have family responsibilities?
Most of them do.
The latter most.
The latter, most of them. Okay. And how do they make money? Are they employed or they are not employed?
They are employed.
Okay. So these are the millennials. We've got three things. Let's move on to the baby boomers. So the baby boomers, what is it that they like to do?
So who are the baby boomers again?
So let's consider, for now, let's consider baby boomers, those who are in their 50s.
Most of them are either retired or they are looking to quit their jobs or to retire.
Okay. They are looking to quit their jobs or to retire. All right. What else can we say about baby boomers? Do they have families? Okay. Can we come on, Ntati?
Yes, they do have families and they do most of their shopping offline.
Okay. They do most of their shopping offline. What is the third factor about the baby boomers? Are they employed?
Yes, but some are retired.
All right. Okay, so we've got facts about millennials as a segment. We've got facts about baby boomers. Now let's move on to pensioners. What can we say to senior citizens? Those are in their 70s. What is it that they like to do?
They spend most of their time at home.
Doing what?
Watching TV or doing the gardening. Yeah,
Okay.
just relaxing most of the time.
All right. Reading newspapers,
Yes.
doing those puzzles on the magazine. Guys, you are going to get there. You are going to be in your 70s very soon. You won't even realize it. So you need to know about those people before you get old as well. All right. So they like reading magazines, and do they have families?
They do.
Okay. So you mean these who have proper families as in parenting, or they are just looking after their grandkids, or they are in a home? Do you know home? As
Yeah.
in, what's the other way that you can use? Like care home.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah, age. What is it called? Is it an age home or?
Old age home.
Old age home, yes.
Yeah. Or a
Because you
tiny.
can also find pensioners at old age home, guys. Do you know that?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Are these employed?
Most, if not all of them, are not employed unless they're self-employed.
Okay, so these are enjoying their pension and their life covers that they had when they were in their youth and in their middle age period, right?
Yes.
So now we have identified three different generations as segments for ShopRite. The first one we said is the millennials. The second one we said it's the baby boomers. Then the third one we said it's the pensioners. So now we can have our persona development. Who is going to be a likely key segment for our target for ShopRite? Who can we target here? Millennials, baby boomers, or pensioners?
In my opinion, I'd say baby boomers.
Okay, and in your opinion, why would you say baby boomers?
Because millennials are always on their phones, which means they are most likely to. Ish, I'm contradicting myself. Millennials, not baby boomers, because they're usually on their phones and most of them work, especially for long hours. So they are most likely to use the app more in comparison to the other groups.
Okay, are they most likely to use ShopRite goods and services?
I think not, because
Okay,
it seems like they are very focused on the types of brands that they use. Or
okay, we are going to get to that. I get you. Karabo, which segment can we target here? Which segment is going to be key to our market for ShopRite?
Because of familiarity and loyalty, I would think the baby boomers more. Because I don't know too many millennials that still go to ShopRite unless it's one of the only shops around.
Okay, all right. So Karabo has identified the baby boomers and Ntati has identified the millennials. And you guys, to some extent, you are all correct. We do have differences in the digital marketing boardrooms whereby we've got different opinions. But at the end of the day, we need to make our digital marketing strategy work. So how can it work then? Generally, who is the target audience for ShopRite? Let's forget about the facts about the segments. Let's think about ShopRite. Who is likely going to shop more at ShopRite?
most of the time when I go to ShopRite, I usually see old people more, baby boomers and, senior citizens. It's hardly ever youth that's shopping at ShopRite.
Okay. Karawod, who do you think shops at ShopRite more often?
I think more so the baby boomers, but I don't know. I don't think it would only be right to consider just the generations because we also have to consider the income and the
Mhm.
locations. So people would generally think that ShopRite is cheaper. So people with lower income, even if they're millennials or whatnot, would rather go to
Mhm.
ShopRite because they can afford.
Okay.
So
All right. You guys, when we're talking about the aspects of digital platforms, You say that millennials are always glued to their phones, right?
Yes.
Which is one aspect of digital marketing. Then you also say that baby boomers are most likely to shop at ShopRite. So you said baby boomers and pensioners are more likely to shop at ShopRite. So can't we use those who are glued to their phones to reach out to their parents? Because baby boomers would be their parents, pensioners would be their grandparents. Am I making any sense, guys? How many times has your mother or your father asked you to request Uber on their behalf because they are not glued to their phones? They don't know how Uber works, and they are asking you to request on their behalf. Makes sense, right?
Yes, it
What I'm trying to say is that the baby boomers and the pensioners, whenever they struggle with digital technologies, they reach out to their grandchildren who are the millennials. If they have grandchildren, remember, not every pensioner has got grandchildren or live with their grandchildren. So this is what you also need to consider, and it has to be informed by research. Okay, so the stages of market strategy development can be complicated. That's what I'm trying to show you guys. Because when targeting, you need to see demand analysis, and we say that demand is more with the baby boomers and the old people, the pensioners. You also need to think now about positioning. You need to think about competitors. Who shops at Boxers, for example? You know, and how can ShopRite position better itself than Boxer? Do you know anything about Boxer stores, guys? Have anyone been to Boxer store?
I've been to Boxer, but not regularly.
Karabo, do you know Boxer?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay, how is Boxer better than ShopRite, and how is ShopRite better than Boxer? How is Boxer better than ShopRite, guys?
I don't think it is really, considering that we don't hear about it anymore. Or maybe I haven't thought of that.
Okay, all right. So when doing competitor analysis, you need to know more about Boxer, and it's not only Boxer. I think there's also Cambridge. You need to think about those and how ShopRite can better position itself. ShopRite also need to access its internal analysis. If it's going to have deliveries, how many employees is it going to have? When it comes to pick and collect, click and collect, they need to improve on their trawlers and stuff like that, because part of internal analysis. Then at planning, the last stage of target marketing strategy development, they need to evaluate the resources that they have and come up with budgets. So how much are they going to spend on online marketing mix, be it using advertising, be it using content creation on different platforms, digital platforms, social media platforms, or sometimes they can also be forced to restructure their ways of doing, coming up with e-commerce and having automated online customer contact strategy. For example, when someone has made an order, they can now receive automated communication from ShopRite that your order is on the way, your order is halfway, your order is now being delivered, and so on. So do you see, guys, how you apply the target market strategy to a given scenario? Or is it still complicated?
It makes a lot more sense now.
Okay. Remember, there are many pieces that come together when when formulating a strategy. And we unpacked decision 1, decision 2. Now we are doing decision 3. And I think there are more decisions that we consider. I think they get up to 7, if I remember very well. So target marketing is one of the components. So you would see that strategy itself is big. That's why we have got many positions in the digital marketing strategy to work on a single strategy with specific objectives. So there are people who are actually employed as consumer researcher. So their job, when they wake up in the morning and they go to work, they are just going there to conduct research about the consumer. That's their job. They're in digital marketing, but their only focus is on market research. They research about the consumer so that the brands can know more about their customers and be able to segment them. Then we have got people who are just members of the strategy team, the strategists who come up with the actual strategy and planning. So these ones, they are not interested in customer research. They are just informed by the people who are in customer research. Remember, I've got someone who is employed to do the research. So these people inform the strategists. That will be the job of the strategist to come up with the better planning and better strategies and tactics. Then we've got someone who is employed in digital marketing as a marketing communication manager. So these ones will deal with the marketing mix. How are we going to create the content? On which platforms? How are we going to communicate in order to achieve the objective of that strategy? So these are the only ones that I've mentioned, but there are so many people who are involved in digital marketing. Some will do social media management, some will do search engine optimization management. So you'd realize that these different positions will come together to have one body. So it's just having one body with many compartments. Some will be the legs. The legs will only do the moving. Some will be the hands. The hands will only do the touching or the holding. Some will be the head. The head will just do the brains, who are the strategists. So the strategists are more like the brains of digital marketing. Then some would be the heart, who just keep pumping the vibes, making sure that everything is on track. So to realize that digital marketing is not one body, it has got many parts that contribute to that body. I'm saying this because the last question of your assignment, it says you must come up with 2 positions. Do you remember that, guys? These people have already forgotten about the assignment. Where you need to come up with the 2 positions, the name of the position, the skills, and so on. So that's where this fit in. And you need to think about this in line of the segment that you're going to generate, in line of the objectives that you are going to have them meet the SMART criteria, and in line of all the components that are going to contribute to digital marketing strategy. So that's how you are going to look at it when doing the assignment. Are there any questions? Karabo, are you good?
I'm alright, sir. I'm okay.
And in Tati?
No questions from me, sir.
Okay. All right, guys. So that's it about lesson 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, and 54. So we've covered all the lessons that we're supposed to cover this week. Next week, we'll be looking at decision 4, which is positioning and differentiation. So we continue with strategy formulation and we are going to be looking at position 4. And remember, next week we have got contact sessions. So we are going to meet in class next week. We'll be on campus on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to check the timetable, guys, to know the exact venues. But I also encourage you guys to have a look at the timetable on which venues we are going to be in. I don't think the time has changed, but the venues might have changed. So do you have anything to say about housekeeping?
No, sir. I just wanted to remind you to.
Yes, Instaport.
Yes, sir.
Instaport. I've already sent out an email, but I'll remind my colleagues as well, because I've also been looking. Chances are that maybe they wanted to say Instant Pot, but I've also realized that Instant Pot is actually a brand. It's actually a type of a pot. It's not a brand. So I don't know which is which, because here you are focusing on brands.
Mm.
So I'll do my best today on that one so that we can get clarity. But on Bank's Kitchen Shop, are you guys finding something? Because I need to address all the competitor at once. So is it only Instaport or the other competitors where you are struggling to get information?
Just into instant put from my side.
So have you searched BankSpot and if you come across something about it, will you be able to get facts and information about BankSpot?
Well, I've already been on the bank's what website. So
Okay, all right. If it's there, then it's all good. Okay, people. See you next week on campus and have a good weekend.
Thank you, sir.
enjoy your